Welcome to English Podcast. Subscribe our channel for more update.
Okay, let's start with maybe a slightly uncomfortable question for you.
Oh, go on.
How much of your time, your actual day, just sort of evaporates on things that, well, when you really stop and think about it, don't actually move the needle much?
Doesn't move the needle on what's really important to you.
Exactly. It's maybe a bit of a prod, I know, but that's really what we're digging into today.
Right. And it's not about some dusty old theory.
No, forget that. This is about you listening, because you're here because you want to learn, you want to grow, make your time really count.
So our mission here, our goal,
is to pull out those core ideas, the insights that can help you spot those time-draining habits.
and more importantly, figure out what you can actually do about them.
What to do instead, yeah?
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how sneaky wasted time can be.
Sneaky. How so?
Well, it doesn't usually feel like this big dramatic failure, right? It often feels normal.
Yeah.
Comfortable even. Easy.
Yeah, I see that.
So when we talk about wasting life, it's not about judging anyone. It's more about, shining a light on pathways to living more intentionally, getting more out of it.
Okay, so let's get specific then. This idea of wasting life. Our sources are saying it's usually not the huge, obvious things.
No, rarely. It's the everyday stuff.
The everyday habits that feel almost automatic, but maybe leave you feeling a bit, meh. Like, I could have used that hour better.
Like mindlessly scrolling on your phone the second you have a free moment.
Or, clicking that next recommended video and then the next one. When you actually had something else you wanted to work on. Does that ring any bells for you listening?
I think it probably does for most of us. And it's the accumulation, the buildup of these small choices.
Small indulgences, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. We tell ourselves, just 5 more minutes, or I'll definitely do it tomorrow.
Feels harmless at the time.
Totally.
Yeah.
But when you connect it to the bigger picture, you see how these tiny delays, these little distractions, they just compound. And suddenly weeks have gone by, maybe months. And that feeling that you could be doing more, that untapped potential, it can start to feel pretty heavy.
That's a really good point. And the sources make this sharp distinction, don't they, between just being busy.
Right. Running around,
Yeah.
juggling tasks.
And actually being productive,
Yeah.
actually making progress on things that matter to you.
Huge difference. And they point fingers at some common culprits, these silent killers of time.
Like what?
Well, the obvious ones.
Yeah.
Social media black holes, that endless stream of entertainment we have now.
Right at our fingertips, yeah.
And maybe the trickiest one, waiting for motivation. Just waiting for that feeling to kick in before you start.
The motivation myth. That's a tough one.
It really is. And this brings up a really direct question for you listening, doesn't it? What are your personal silent killers?
What pulls you off track?
Yeah, think honestly. What are the distractions, the habits that keep holding you back? Even the little excuses you tell yourself to put things off.
Because just recognizing them,
Yeah.
that's the first step, isn't it?
It's absolutely crucial. Awareness is step one.
It really does start with just noticing. Because once you see clearly where your time is actually going compared to where you want it to go,
And you have a choice.
you gain the power to make a conscious decision, either keep going like this or, actively steer things differently.
And let's connect this to something fundamental. Time itself. It's our most, finite resource.
Finite is the word. The sources use that great analogy.
The 86,400 seconds one.
Yeah. Imagine waking up and boom, there's $86,400 in your account. But here's the catch.
Anything you don't spend by midnight just disappears, vanishes.
Can't save it, doesn't roll over, poof.
And that is exactly how the 86,400 seconds in every single day work.
Wow. That really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does. Because think about how careful most people are with money. Budgeting, tracking.
Right, watching every penny sometimes.
Yet we let minutes, even hours, just slip through our fingers without a second thought. It's kind of strange when you think about it that way.
So the challenge then from the sources is to look back. Think about your last 24 hours. How much of that time was truly invested? spent on things aligned with your goals, your values, things that helped you grow.
Versus the stuff that just filled time.
Yeah.
Or maybe even left you feeling a bit drained or behind.
Exactly. And there's that concept they bring up too, opportunity cost.
Yes, opportunity cost. Which basically means
Every time you choose to spend, say, an hour doing one thing.
you're automatically choosing not to do countless other things with that same hour.
Right. So that hour scrolling could have been an hour learning something new or creating something or even just connecting properly with someone.
Recognizing that trade-off in every decision about your time. That's incredibly powerful, isn't it?
It really is. And the sources just keep hammering this home. Unlike money, unlike possessions,
Time is utterly non-renewable. Gone is gone.
you can always make more money, find new things, but you can never, ever get back a wasted second.
Never. And understanding that, really understanding it, just highlights how important it is to be deliberate, intentional with every moment.
Okay, so we're aware now. We see the value of time. Maybe we're noticing our own silent killers. But awareness alone.
It's not enough, is it? That's what the sources stress. It's
Yeah.
a great start, absolutely vital. But the real change, that happens when we turn understanding into action.
Right. Action is key. But it doesn't mean you have to suddenly become this, productivity guru overnight.
No, that feels overwhelming. Impossible, maybe.
Exactly. The advice is much more grounded. Start small.
Just pick one thing.
Yeah, pick one habit you want to change. Or make one conscious decision each day to put what matters first. Even just dedicating one solid, focused hour to something meaningful.
Those small steps build momentum, don't they?
They really do. And the sources offer some pretty practical strategies for this.
Like building routines.
Yes, building routines to kind of automate the good habits so you don't have to rely on willpower so much.
And tackling procrastination. Maybe breaking big goals down.
Breaking them into smaller, less scary steps makes it feel more doable. And also working on focus, especially when motivation is low.
Which involves things like minimizing distractions, setting clear intentions for your time blocks.
Yeah, absolutely. And setting clear goals is obviously important too, knowing what you're aiming for.
And creating an environment around you that actually supports those goals rather than undermines them.
That's huge. But there was that one really insightful point about systems. Systems over willpower.
Yes. The idea that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
Can you unpack that a little? What does that really mean in practice?
Well, it's a crucial distinction. Relying just on willpower, it's tough. It's finite. It gets used up easily, especially when you're tired or stressed.
Okay.
Systems, on the other hand, are the structures, the processes, the consistent habits you put in place that make the desired behavior almost automatic.
So an example.
Okay, instead of relying on willpower to not check your phone while you're trying to study,
Which is hard.
very hard, a system would be. When it's study time, the phone goes on silent, and maybe even in another room entirely.
I see. The system makes the good choice the easy choice.
Exactly. It takes the moment-to-moment struggle out of it, requires less conscious effort. You set it up for success beforehand.
That makes a lot of sense. And, the sources are realistic too. They acknowledge we're human.
We slip up, we have bad days, setbacks happen.
Right. So the key isn't perfection. It's having ways to handle those moments, to learn from them, and just get back on track without beating yourself up.
It's all about progress.
Yeah.
Consistency over the long haul, not being perfect every single day.
Now, let's maybe pivot slightly and connect all this whole idea of not wasting life to something really relevant for many people listening.
You mean English language learning?
Exactly. The sources, maybe not directly, but implicitly, frame English learning as a really powerful tool for unlocking potential, for making your time count.
That's a great connection. Thinking of English not just as, another school subject,
Right, not just grammar rules and vocabulary lists.
but as a key that opens doors to a much wider world.
What kind of doors are we talking about?
Well, obvious ones like better job opportunities for sure, but also access to a huge amount of knowledge, information online, books, films.
Deeper connections too, right? With people from totally different backgrounds.
Absolutely. And just the confidence boost that comes from being able to communicate effectively in a global language.
It's interesting, though, how many learners get stuck in that waiting game.
Waiting to feel ready.
Yeah, I'll start speaking more when I feel fluent, or I need to be perfect first.
And the sources really push back against that idea. They suggest fluency isn't some destination you magically arrive at by waiting.
It's more of a journey.
It's a journey fueled by consistent effort, by actually using the language, making mistakes, learning from them day in, day out.
And the rewards when you do that are huge, aren't they? Access to all those books, videos, podcasts.
Entire universes of ideas that were maybe closed off before.
It broadens your horizons professionally, personally, gives you more freedom in travel, communication.
It really is an investment, a powerful investment in yourself and your future.
There was that phrase, too, almost like a call to action.
Speak today, make mistakes, learn, grow.
Yeah. It's not just about language, is it? It's framed as part of building a bigger, more meaningful life.
It ties right back into not letting time just slip away, waiting for the right moment.
Which brings us back to that sense of urgency the sources really emphasize.
That fundamental truth. Life is finite. And crucially, we don't know how finite.
Right. The reminder that life stands very wildly. Some people get 80 years, some get less than 30. You just don't know.
And that uncertainty really underlines why we can't afford to keep putting off what truly matters to us. Why waiting isn't really a strategy.
So if we tie it all together, what we've been talking about,
it's this powerful mix, isn't it? The very real danger of letting time drift by unintentionally.
Coupled with the incredible power we actually hold in our daily choices.
And the absolute necessity of turning that awareness we talked about into real concrete action now.
The sources also share some really inspiring stories, don't they? Examples of people who...
Yeah, people who faced huge obstacles but turned things around. Or started something amazing later in life. Or made just one key decision that changed everything.
And those stories aren't just feel-good anecdotes. They're proof, right?
Proof that change is always possible. And that it doesn't require perfect timing or ideal conditions.
It just requires a decision, a commitment to begin.
Which leads us right back to that crucial, maybe challenging question for you listening.
So what are you waiting for?
What might you be putting off telling yourself someday? The sources really challenge that idea that some future moment will magically be better to start.
Yeah, they ask, what if today? What if this was the day that everything started to shift for you?
It's a powerful thought, maybe a little unsettling, like you said earlier.
One we probably need to sit with. Because ultimately, the final message is so simple and so profound.
You have one life.
Make it count.
Well, thank you for diving deep with us today into this really vital topic of making the most of our time. We hope these ideas have given you some food for thought.
Absolutely. And we really encourage you, share these thoughts with someone else, or just take a quiet moment yourself to reflect on what really resonated with you.
And remember that core message. Your time is now. Every single minute is an opportunity.
An opportunity for positive change, whether that's speaking English more confidently, finally starting that project, or just being more present in your day-to-day life.
And as you think about making those changes, don't forget the power that language, specifically English, can hold for you.
Yeah, improving your English isn't just about grammar tests. It's about building a future with more doors open, more connections, more possibilities.
It's a tool for building that life you want.
So stay bold out there, stay focused, and don't waste your life.